How to speak English fluently on your own. Let's start with part 1. If you are watching this video, you are probably someone who wants to become better at speaking English. Let's dive into it. And here is something you might already know deep down. If you want to speak English fluently, you actually need to speak it. Sounds simple, right? Or not? Well, but it's often overlooked. And you could study grammar books for hours, or you could watch dozens of English movies. You could even listen to podcasts and lectures daily, but none of that alone will make you a confident English speaker. To speak better English, you need to open your mouth and practice speaking. But what if you don't have a speaking partner? What if you don't live in an English speaking country or don't know anyone who speaks the language? That's the real problem for many learners. Well, don't worry, there is a technique that can help you. You don't need a partner in this scenario. You don't need a tutor on the basis. In fact, you can do this by yourself right at home. And yes, it really works. This method is called learning to speak English through imitation. It's a powerful and natural way to boost your fluency, improve your grammar, and expand your vocabulary, all without memorizing rules or studying textbooks for hours. Now let's be clear when we say imitation. We are not just talking about repeating after someone word for word to sound like them. That can help your pronunciation, sure, on the first note. But this method goes beyond that. Let's dive into it. It's about listening to English and then trying to express the same ideas in your own words, naturally and confidently. Yes, both. Let's look at how it works on the combined row. First, you listen to a short conversation, a story, or even a motivational speech. Then you observe what's being said, and then you try to retell that information to yourself using your own words, your own voice, your own way of expressing that idea. Let's go through a quick example to see this in example. Imagine the original line says, when I was a child, my parents would pretend that Santa Claus brought us gifts every Christmas. Now, your version could be something like this. When he was younger, his parents used to act like Santa Claus, gave them presents during Christmas. You see what happened between the both sentences. You did not copy the sentence word for word, but you kept the meaning and sentence. That's imitation in action, and it's incredibly effective in improving speaking. It forces your brain to think in English, and you are just repeating the sounds. You are processing the idea and then expressing it in a new form. That's the real communication that helps to build the fluency and improve speaking. Now there are few different ways to use this imitation method, and you can choose what works best for you. Option 1 is to start by imitating small chunks of speech. This could be a few words or short phrases. Option 2 is to wait until the speaker completes a full sentence or thought. Pause the audio, then try to express that complete idea in your own words. Option 3 is to listen to the entire speech first and don't stop while playing it, and after that just listen all the way through. Yes. Then, after it's over, try to summarize and deliver the entire speech by yourself like you are the speaker. Each of these methods has value, but there is a one approach that combines them all. At EdMask, we call it the easy to hard imitation method. Here's how it works. You start with the easiest form of the imitation, short words and phrases. Then you gradually increase the difficulty by moving on to a full sentence. And eventually you challenge yourself to recreate entire paragraph or speeches. Now that you understand the basics of the imitation method, let's dive deeper into how to practice effectively and take your spoken English to the next level. Let's earlier we talked about the starting with small bits of language like short phrases and sentences. Once you are comfortable with those, it's time to level up. In this stage, you will be working with longer and more complex pieces of spoken English. Here is how you can continue practicing. Start by choosing a short speech, a story, or a dialogue in English. First, listen to a speaker and express a full idea. Don't interrupt or pause midway. And let the speaker finish a complete point. Then pause the video or audio and try to express the same idea using your own words. You don't have to copy everything word for word. The goal is to express the message clearly and naturally. This form of practice is excellent for developing fluency. You will begin to think in English rather than mentally translating from your native language. That's the major step forward in becoming a confident English speaker. Now, as you get more confident with individual ideas or sentences, move on to a more advanced version. That is, repeating the entire speech or story. This may sound challenging at first, but don't worry. It's part of the easy to hard technique we mentioned before, which gradually trains your brain and mouth to work in English. In this advanced stage, you will listen to an entire audio or watch the full video first without pausing it in normal train. Focus on understanding the message, then try to recreate that entire speech in your own words. At first, you may struggle to recall every detail, and that's okay. The key is to retell it using a proper English sentence structures, vocabulary, and flow. But pushing yourself in this way, you can activate multiple language skills at once. You are listening, thinking, organizing your ideas, and speaking all in English. That's what makes this method so powerful. Let's talk about the major benefits you will gain through this type of imitation practice. Step 1 is to clear sentence formation. By listening and speaking regularly, you will develop natural sense of how English sentences are built. You won't need to memorize grammar rules because you will learn them through consistent usage. You will just know what sounds right. And step 2 is to improve vocabulary. When you imitate stories and real life conversations, you are exposed to useful words and expressions. These are the phrases that native speakers use every day, not the stiff textbooks examples. You will naturally add them to your own speaking style. Next step is to natural rhythm and pronunciation because imitation helps you catch the rhythm, stress, and flow of the native speakers. You will pick up on where to pause, how to link words, and how to sound more natural. This is especially useful if you want to sound fluent and confident. And the fourth thing that will be added is implicit grammar. This might surprise you, but when you mimic native speakers, you absorb grammar patterns without even thinking about them. This is known as implicit learning. It's the same way children learn their first language. They don't sit down and study grammar rules, they learn by listening and secondly speaking. You can do the same with English. That is, remember the goal is not perfection, it's progression. You might not get everything right the first time. You might forget words, mix up tenses, or feel awkward. That's all part of the learning process. What matters is that you keep practicing regularly on daily basis. Now here is an important tip. Record yourself while practicing. Use your phone or any simple recorder. After speaking, listen back to what you said. Compare it with the original audio or video. This self review helps you catch your mistakes and improves even faster. Another useful idea is to create a speaky diary. Every day, pick a new topic or story to imitate and summarize it in your own language. Thank you for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I will see you next time.